Boto block. It's me. Hold on. Can you see? No, can't see me. You see me? Hi. I'll just put it right here. Hi everyone. This is my reaction rant. I am currently not feeling well. Hi. Anyway, you know what? Boom. Just boom. You can see me. Holy shit, that's bright. Okay. Oh my god. Anyway, hi everyone. This is my reaction rant to The Flash, Season 4, Episode... Episode 13, titled True Colors. Last we saw Barry, if I remember correctly, he was found out by that warden dude. I think his name was Wolf or something like that. His last name was like Wolf or something like that, right? He was the prison warden. Found out Barry was the Flash because he put a secret camera near Barry's cell when Barry started digging his nose into his dad's former cellmate's case. Remember that? And then remember in that last episode he took that guy, I forgot his name already, but he took him to Jeju or something like that because he's never been there and all that stuff, and he was innocent. They tried to prove his innocence, but the real culprit wouldn't confess. But anyway, what you call it? So apparently Barry got found out by the warden, and apparently the warden drugged Barry and took him to a very interesting little cell. Special cell, if I may add. And, apparently there are other metas there. There are four or five other metas there. I know for a fact 4 of them are there. Of course, the Flash has imprisoned. Becky Sharp is one of them. If you remember Becky Sharp was the one chick that had all that luck. You know, like every time she got lucky, someone else around her got unlucky and all that shit. There was that one chick, I think her name was Mira. She was the chick that could animate stuff. You know, she was just trying to get some ancient tribe relics back to her people and all that stuff. And she could animate objects and all that shit. And then, of course, the recent one, the one that actually committed the crime that Big Sir himself was in prison for. You remember him? The guy that could shrink and enlarge things. And then I think the 4th guy was the guy that could make people sick. He's like toxic and shit to people. Yeah, I think he was the last one. Like, all 5 of them, and Barry included, are trapped in a special prison by the warden, apparently to be sold off to Amunet. If you guys remember who Amunet is, she's a lady who Caitlyn was interacting with, and has those metal powers and shit. But, of course, Barry, being smart, he devises a plan to not only escape, but pretty much to help these 4, even though he's the one that put them in jail. He doesn't want Amunet getting their hands on them, right? So he's helping them escape. And, we get Iris and Cecile trying to, visit Barry, and the warden's all lying to their faces saying, oh, he's fine, there was just a little scuffle in jail, he's just a little injured, but he's fine. But remember, Cecile still has her telepathy powers, so she read the warden's mind and found out the whole sell Barry and a good chunk of metas to Amunet, right? Ralph had a run-in with an old criminal friend of his, and I was kind of scared for Ralph, quite honestly, because this friend was like, Ralph, this is what you do. you always manage to disappoint your friends, and they end up turning on you and leaving, and you're just all by yourself again. So, when you disappoint your new friends and they abandon you, don't forget me, buddy, and all that stuff. And I was like, that dickhead. But you can see in poor Ralph's face that he thinks that, yes, he's going to disappoint these friends, his real friends. And it's heartbreaking. Because you feel for Ralph, you know. He finally has a real set of friends, and he doesn't want to screw it up with them. So, of course, he's naturally scared that that might happen. And during his little rant with Team Flash about his little run-in, he finds out that his stretchy abilities give him also the power to pretty much shapeshift into anyone he wants. Voice included. Because when he was talking about his little former friend to Team Flash, he literally morphed into his former friend. So that was pretty damn dope, not gonna lie to you. But anyway, they're like, okay, they found out that, Bear's gonna get sold. We have to find a way to get him out of there. So they had this plan where they used Ralph's newly discovered ability to shapeshift to maybe shapeshift into the Warden and, bypass the plans here. Unfortunately, it did not go out so well. Anyway, while that's all happening, Barry manages to escape his cell and break the other four out, and they end up in an underground tunnel where they end up bonding, which I think is super adorable. Barry tries his hardest with these people because he knows they're criminals, but it's particularly Becky. Becky is the most innocent of them all, quite honestly. I wouldn't say what she did was innocent, but, the way she acts like a little child. You know what I mean? It's like she has that childlike innocence. And I'm just so freaking tired right now. You have no idea right now. But anyway, Barry manages to get the four fugitives away from the power dampener so they can use their powers. But unfortunately, the Warden dude and Emunette managed to make it there. And, I forgot to mention with Ralph, they wanted Ralph to pretty much shapeshift into the Warden so that, Ralph could probably interfere with this whole trade-in, right? And keep this in mind, Cecelia found that out because she read the mind of the Warden. Anyway, he basically got found out, right? And so, I'm sorry. Anyway, I am so sleepy. Okay, what book? Oh my god, I can't remember. Anyway, shoot, the Flash. Of course, they ended up getting found out, and they have to think of something to help with Barry, right? And Barry manages to sneak himself and the other four people away from the power dampener that was stopping them from using their powers. And like I said, Emunette and that Warden dude show up, right? And the freaking Warden pretty much ratted Barry out, saying, oh, he's the Flash and all that shit. And of course, everyone's turning on him with the exception of Becky Sharp. And there were times, though, during the whole escape, Becky and Barry were the ones that communicating the most to each other and getting to know each other. And so, lo and behold, even when Barry got outed out as the Flash, our dear sweet Sharp was the only one that pretty much defended Barry, which I thought was pretty damn cool. They almost have like a little shy kid sister demeanor to an older guy, at his job. You know what I mean? Anyway, what else happened? Ah, yes. The Warden put like one of those shock collar looking things on Barry's foot so he couldn't really speed around. Sharp, being the cute and adorable innocent one, was trying to help Barry. And believe it or not, the other three were gonna do shit to the Warden and, Emunette. But the moment they found out, Barry is a Flash, they all turned on him, except for Becky. And the funny thing is, the one chick that animates stuff, she's like, bring it on. She's all threatening and stuff, and then, she pretty much says, bring it on, which I think is hilarious. Anyway, shoot, I forgot where I was. Ah, yes, they pretty much turned on him, and even though they're so eager to beat the crap out of them, they keep forgetting that Becky's powers makes her lucky and everyone else around her unlucky. So when they went after her, bad food, stomach aches, throwing up, just stuff, and it's like, I don't even know what to say to that, honestly. Just as everything looked like it was going to be a rough day, in comes DeVoe to make it worse. DeVoe shows up in his new body, because remember, he took control of that one meta that has the power to basically, what was it called? I forgot what it was called, but anyway, shows up in his new bod, pretty much takes out these freaking Marvel Dr. Octopus arms. You guys remember in the Marvel comics and even in the movies, when you first saw Doc Ock in the movies, he had those metal arms and everything? That's what it freaking looked like. Like, for real, it looked just like that to me. Okay. What was I? Oh, yeah. Becky's like, bring it on and everything, and I thought it was pretty damn funny because they tried to fight her only for pretty much Becky's powers to kick in, and she has the best luck because everyone else around her who tried to come after her basically had the worst shitty luck ever, which I thought was so stupidly funny. Anyway, they did manage to, what was it? After, DeVoe shows up, he pretty much links his Dr. Octopus arms from the chair he's sitting on onto the unfortunate souls of the bus metas, even though they weren't really nice. I mean, Becky, she was redeeming herself and shit, right? And so it was just depressing because the guy was basically draining them of their powers and basically their lives, pretty much, to be sucked into the chair. And what sucked was that because Barry had the ankle on him, he couldn't run. So when he was trying to run to Becky, because Becky was literally the last one to have her powers taken from her, and at the same time they bonded a bit, he was like sad. I couldn't blame Barry. I was sad too. I was like, bro, I start to like her. But anyway, unfortunately, took control, pretty much took all the powers, and apparently, instead of keeping it on that mind reader dude's body, he transferred his body into frickin' Becky's. He took Sharp's frickin' body. He went from the guy with the mind powers to the girl with the luck powers, right? And disappeared. And Ralph, wanting to redeem himself from the mishap of the, shape-shifting thing, during the trial, apparently Cecelia was like, give us one more chance, he'll show up and all that stuff, and we're like, who? I kind of had a feeling who, but apparently it was pretty cool, because Ralph used his shape-shifting abilities to turn into the original DeVoe's body, and he's like, yeah, I wasn't dead, I was unconscious in Mr. Allen's home, but I sure as hell wasn't dead, and because of that, they basically freed Barry, because he was being charged for murder, and here's DeVoe, alive and well, right? Anyway, I'm running out of time soon, but long story short, they find out that DeVoe is trying to pretty much suck up the powers of all the people that are on the bus metas, which means Ralph's in danger, and apparently DeVoe's been drugging his wife with the Weeper's tears to make her compliant. But anyway, I am running out of time, so this is my reaction rant to The Flash, titled True Colors, which is episode 13. So now I will see you for Arrow 13 and Black Lightning 4. Bye, guys. It was a good episode. Becky, I feel bad for Becky. DeVoe, give her back her body, man. I liked Becky.